All right. Hello, guys. It's Zach, and these shades make me look like a tool. All right. Today I just wanted to talk about like what society basically says, and how society basically dictates our transition from being a teenager to an adult, because I'm right in there. I'm 19, so I'm a teenager and an adult, but I mean, I never really consider myself an adult. But that's the strange thing about it, is that the whole idea is crazy to me of one day you're a teenager, completely dependent on your parents, they are completely responsible for you. The next day, at least technically, as soon as you turn 18, boom, all responsibilities in your hands, no preparation whatsoever. There are definitely not enough classes and curriculum or anything like that to account for this transition. There's really no buffer period, in my opinion, which is what I think the problem is. I mean, I remember looking back just a couple years ago, or even like a year ago today, I wasn't even worried about, or maybe not a year ago, maybe 2 years ago today, I wasn't even worried about college or what I was going to do in the future. Just wanted to have fun with what I was doing then, which is a reasonable thing to want to do when you're going through some of the most important times of your life. But then, boom, they start hitting you. This is what society says: you need to get a job. You need to learn how to drive. 16, you get your permit. Well, this is all in New Jersey, but 16, you get your permit. Then you get your license. Then you're gonna need a car, so you gotta pay for that, or however you manage to get a car. You have to start thinking about applying for colleges, and then try to think about what you want to do for the rest of your life. And this is all in a matter of like 2 years, really. You don't even have to worry about it the first 2 years of high school. No preparation for it whatsoever. They really just throw you out there. Society expects a very specific path, which is, work, college, profession, And of course there are always exceptions to that. There are plenty of people that don't go to college. But it seems like middle class, kind of, that's just like the assumed path you're going to go down. There's a lot of pressure to follow that path. I mean, that's the path I'm on. It's like I don't have a problem with it. I like to learn, and I'm not sure what I want to do, so this time will help me learn what I want to do. At the same time, I really don't appreciate how society is such a cookie cutter thing now. It's like such arbitrary things that we've just kind of fabricated as in society. That's like the norm. You have to do this. It's just assumed. No, it's really assumed. You have to go to college. Basically, like, of course you can't go, or of course you cannot go to college. You have that choice, but you see it from everyone. You see parents like, oh, when you graduate high school, oh, where are you going to college? What are you studying? They're immediately right on the next step. You graduate high school, you're going ahead. You're boom. No rest period. Again, for most, but you could take a break. You could take a buffer period, but the thing is, you don't want to fall behind. It's all competitive now. You have to stay ahead of the game and everything. I just think it's really a bizarre thing. A lot of things in society are really bizarre to me. How we've just kind of fabricated and made up these weird stigmas and what's expected of you. That's really but what gets me the most is this transition that's almost non-existent. They just, up until you're 17, it's like you're fine. I mean, you're living with your parents, and of course that continues a little bit into adulthood as well, living with your parents. But then boom, you're thrown into college. You're living on your own. You're out for yourself. You have to. Like the biggest pressure probably in high school was keeping up with the homework while also socializing. Now that gets pushed into college, and now you have the pressure of continuing homework, maybe even more, maybe the same. But then now you're thinking about what do you want to do for the rest of your life, really. It's such a really weird thing that you have essentially 4 years. Well, you have all the time in the high school, but it's like, can you really make that decision properly? You have a couple years to make a decision that's going to affect your quality of life, your enjoyment of life, and then your income and everything. This is crazy to me. And then this is the whole fact that no time to waste. Boom, boom, boom. It's all thrown on you at once. So you got, it was like senior year, I got tons of homework going on, getting ready for AP tests, which is also a weird societal thing in certain areas you're just expected to take. Well, that's standardized testing, that's a whole other issue, but you got preparing for AP tests, doing your clubs and activities, homework, worrying about applying for colleges, which is such a pain in itself. It's such a pain in itself. And now their whole thing for me is is the cost of college here. I mean, come on, you're punishing someone for going for further education. It's really another bizarre thing in society, but that at least has some justification behind it. It's just weird that in high school, at least from what I've experienced, they don't really have life skills classes, stuff you're going to need to know. Because after college, after you decided what you want to do for the rest of your life, supposedly from there, you're thrown out into the real world, and now it's every man for himself. You gotta try to get a job and hopefully not get stuck in a minimum wage and get in that rut like that. It's an annoying system when you think about it, and the transition, I think, should be longer. I think you should get more time to, be a kid, because we take for granted the time we have as kids and teenagers, and a lot of that is because it's just thrown on you suddenly. You got such a freedom, in a sense that I'm not going to say it wasn't stressful. High school was very stressful, but you're carefree in the sense that you always have parents to fall back on. Of course, that's not every scenario, but you usually have someone to fall back on, and you have that safety net, and then you go into college, you still have that safety net to an extent. You're just away, and then after that, it's just like, it's a transition, man. Where is it? I feel no different than I was. Like, I felt no different when I turned 18 than when it was right before it, because there's literally no difference. It's just a number, and then all of a sudden, you can vote, you can drive, you can put your life in risk in so many different ways. It's crazy to me.